Yeah, folks. You know what? I wanted to stream now. So we're starting early. I went ahead and put the message out, though I expect that if anybody was planning on this for more than a day or so, they may not notice it. And we all know that YouTube's not sending out any notifications either, so we'll see what happens, but I'm utterly exhausted from some very long days in the office. I'm still not adjusting well to the schedule for whatever reason. And so I'm tired, and so I wanted to get started because I'll probably fall asleep earlier than usual tonight, which is probably a good thing. I could use some sleep. But I definitely didn't want to miss the stream, so I wanted to get started. In fact, I'll probably stream a little longer than usual. I'm thinking about going till roughly 10, which would make this actually a bit longer than our standard stream. So we'll see. Warner, welcome. Senshi, good to see you here. Anybody else who's joining in, getting started a little early tonight because just trying to beat the tired. So we do have the entire province of the jungles conquered here, which was our objective. However, we've still got a little bit of lizard cleanup left here. Ooh, Warner's got a pancake emoji. I like it. Man, pancakes sound pretty good, actually. Probably always sound good. Pancakes always sound good. What's going on, Jack? Thanks for joining us. So yeah, we got to clear out the rest of these lizards. Warner's already got us all dreaming about pancakes. And let's see, we had our second army ready. I don't know, like, this army can kind of guard this area. I'm probably going to have to leave an army to kind of guard each area. Yeah, probably so. I'm gonna go ahead and just save my cash for a minute, upgrade any skill points. It's like Tutti Floozy. Got a point here. Let's see, powder. Yeah, blacker powder. Then we need to upgrade our new province here. Throw a commandment on it. Yeah, growth sounds good. All right. Should be able to end our turn now. Pancake and good mean the same thing to you. Dr. Warner walking meme. Yeah, pancakes are good, Warner. Senshi says, thou shalt make pancakes. Now that's a commandment that all of us can follow. From our prophet Senshi. Ending a non-aggression pact. Sure, I mean, it's a bold move, Cotton. I don't think it's going to turn out well for you, but whatever you want to do, Rikarth. Whatever you want to do. What's going on, Pilgrim? Wah, indeed, welcome. Appreciate you and Senshi being gold channel member there. Warner as well. Thanks for the support, guys. Wah, Luigi. All right, let's see here. Luthor the Crazy.
I am the Pirate King.
You are indeed the Pirate King. Looks like lizards are suffering all kinds of attrition. I'm just gonna go at them. I don't think that they're gonna have an army that can really crush me here. And we're spreading our vampiric corruption everywhere, which is gonna make it a lot more difficult. Looks like the Bloodhall Coven's wanting to go to war with this as well. Wow. Asdamundi is going to drop spells all over us, unfortunately, if we auto-resolve it. But I want to use my new toys. We got these awesome Necrofex units, so we're totally fighting it. Thanks for everybody who's joining. Good to see you here, Archernut. Luthor Harkon in the chat here. He says, be careful, Air. Don't go something that we will both regret. Or don't do something we'll both regret. Leave no lizard alive. That's right. We're not leaving any lizards here, that's for sure. That is for sure. We're going to have an army guard this area, and I'm kind of wondering whether I should sail my other army north to come guard this new area since the lizards are threatening it actively, whereas the other settlements aren't under as much threat. And maybe could last a little longer, I don't know. Archer says just saw the video. Yeah, I went live early, about 30 minutes early. I'm exhausted right now. I'm still not adjusting well to the office. I have eaten better all week, like I've eaten good food all week, but I still just can't get the proper sleep. When I do lay down early, I can't fall asleep. And then I'm always tired the next day, and then when I'm tired the next day, the only thing I can do is think about sleep, and then lunchtime comes, and I just go to my truck and fall asleep. And then I am still tired, and like the cycle just repeats itself. I get home, and I don't want to go to sleep because it's my only time to not be in the office, and so it's just like this weird cycle right now. Gotta break myself out of it. But, yeah, in any case, we'll see. I need to get some sleep. I think my next goal is I've been eating right, so that's one thing that helps.
Who's next?
So now I need to exercise, and it would be best if I did that during lunch, so that's why I need to get started early. Get to bed early, get some sleep, and I'll have enough energy to maybe actually head over to the gym during lunch, get some exercise, hopefully round things out. And if I'm exercising during the day, I'm hoping that leaves me like worn out to where when it is bedtime, I won't be laying there awake as easily. So, I don't know, we'll see. That's the plan. It may be as crazy as Luthor is though, so we'll see. Blood sugar? No, I don't have low blood sugar. It's good there. I had my blood tested a while back. No issues there. Fortunately. It's good because I'm not a good patient for the doctor. Doctors scare me to an inordinate degree. Luthor says, I know the feeling. You want some time because working and sleeping and repeat sucks. Did that for 5 months. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I think my mind is just fighting it because you don't really like being at work, and so you're trying to extend the time while you're at home. And when you go to extend the time, you just end up being tired, and then like you end up in this cycle, and then but then you're so miserable the next day from being so tired that like you kind of just keep rinsing and repeating the same mistake over and over again. I think I'm gonna keep firing. These goons don't feel like they need to attack me for some reason. I think they're absolutely mad.
I smell blood.
And I'm going to bombard them heavily from a distance and change their mind. They're waiting on reinforcements is what they're doing. So I'm gonna make them very sorry for sitting still and waiting on their reinforcements. Best probably won't hit them. And normally I would stop firing, but I've got all kinds of extra ammunition we can give to Best, so we might as well fire just in case we get lucky. Same thing with the Necrofex. They can just kind of fire. Kill lizards to their heart's desire here.
Into position.
Warner such as carry a concealed apple with you at all times. 9 out of 10 doctors will avoid you. I like it, Warner. I like it a lot. Coatl. I did not expect to see Coatl coming in as the reinforcements.
On my word.
Not our typical unit that you see every day. Why are those things? I hate it when AI just... Okay, no, I thought they were just going to immediately run as far as they can to the flank. That's kind of the AI's typical strategy. They'll just take units and just go to your flank and then come up and it's like, I see you. It's pretty obvious what you're doing. Look at that, Coatl. CA has programmed everything to dodge your artillery fire from range. They can still just attack minor settlements in the campaign map. That's cool. No need to update that, but we will make it where they can dodge your artillery fire. What?
Corpse crew.
Just kind of weird.
All aboard.
Alright, well, quit wasting ammunition on the Coatl. Obviously pointless, because they're just going to play dodge all day.
I see it.
Hey, dodge all you want. You're going to have to come fight me, and that's not going to go any better, so... Not really sure what you're thinking. Yeah, there's Mazdamundi. So this is the one reason why I was not necessarily looking forward to fighting this, is because Mazdamundi would go off and do something like this. Look at that, just hover right on my troops. You all ever have one do this? I don't. As soon as I lay one of these down, it just immediately goes off in some weird direction. That one just hovered right on top of my troops. Extremely convenient, like. What spell do we got with Luthor today? No spell? No, I guess he lost his mind and lost his spells. Alright, look, there's already another banishment? He just did the... Oh, is that from the Coatl? Coatl have banishment, huh? Like a minor banishment? If so, then we've got Mazdamundi with banishment, and we have Coatl with banishment. Vampire Coast in a good place in this game? I think so. I think they're fine. I mean, Coast is doing fine here in this campaign. I haven't had any issues. Multiplayer, I mean, I think they do pretty well in Dominion. I don't really think they're having any problems in Dominion. So I think they're probably doing fine. There we go. Alright. So we are all over this blob. There goes both Coatl, dying very quickly. I've got my Fellbats in to deal with their Pterodon Riders, and now we just gotta gun down the giant toad. As he gets closer to my guns, he should come under fire. I think a lot of my guns are, yeah, obstructed at the moment. It might be this guy, actually. Let's move out of the way, see if we can uncover the line of fire a little bit here. Let's send some depth guard in to assist. Brutal hit there from Bess. When the AI is busy shooting at you, they won't dodge, and then they get utterly destroyed. There's a ruination of cities, by the way. They can ruinate whatever they want. It is over for these lizards. Alright, so we got our depth guard over here. I'm gonna pull those sirens back. There are so many banishments that it's kind of hard to even know what's going on. Alright, was there more yeah, there's more reinforcements coming. Let's bring up our zombies. I don't even know if they'll get here in time. Our zombies and all of our pistols. I'll pull my sirens back into kind of like a waiting position. Bring my depth guard up. Most everything is routing. Just kind of get repositioned a little here. Alright. Bats over here to help protect old Bessie. Speaking of Bess, let's give her some more ammo.
Always crew. Yes.
Alright. Old Bess has some more ammo. I'm about to run out of ammo on my Necrofex as well. How long do I gotta wait here? 46 seconds.
Scale reptile.
Luthor Harkon!
Alright, there are many lizards inbound. Got some kind of croc coming after us here. Probably just gonna get down here and attack him. As soon as he gets just a little closer, I'm just gonna go for him here. And let's use our debuffs here. Alright, so we'll get all over their leader. We're just gonna let our zombies get out here and absorb the charges. I'll reinforce with depth guards and finish that fight. I've got deckhand mob with pistols behind them and then a very back line with guns. This Necrofex is out of ammo. Let's see if we can hook them up. I'm gonna actually pull them out here at point blank range to that blob and start blasting into the blob.
Their time is up! Good!
Just go ahead and heal that off.
Gunnery white.
Drop some cackle fruit in here. Did that ever hit and blow up? I'm sure it did. There we go. Alright. So the lizards beaten back. Not very surprising. Folks, if you're joining in, appreciate you. I know I started early. Definitely appreciate all you joining in. Regina, good to see you. Nikki, great to see you here tonight. Thanks for joining. HH Ray, good to see you. Do I have a Streamlabs fix? Oh, Streamlabs not working? Hold on. I'll get it on. I think I just have to go log in. Where Where's the dashboard? Team. Dashboard. Okay, here we go. Just log in and then it should start working. All right, Salt Gamblers, you should be good to go. CloudBot is on, so any moment the gambling should be working. So go ahead and try it a few times. Should be up and running here very shortly. I don't know why it logs me out for whatever reason. There it goes. The bot is alive. Now I just need to program that bot to like hold comments with
You say something.
links and stuff. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. What do I want? Troll income from raiding, poacher, spell resistance, man of war, so hero capacity, recruit rank, leadership. Let's go with lucky charms. Lucky charms are good. I mean, it's a cereal and it's helpful here. Oh my goodness, it's Clone Trooper Wheeler. My favorite Clone Trooper. The only Clone Trooper. Thanks for the 20. Says, did somebody say salt? Yes, sir. I'll bet you have plenty. Go ahead and check in here. Let's see how much he's got. So Clone Trooper is rolling. Yeah, Amir, I gotta get the decimals right here. So that is thousands, million. Okay, he has 3.4 billion salt pennies, which seems appropriate. And I've tried to give you more salt pennies, Clone Trooper, but the way that Streamlabs is set up is really ridiculous. Like when you go to search for a user to give them more like in-stream currency, it'll only search within the page of 50 that's there. And of course, I've had a ton of unique users, and so there's like tons of pages. And it's ridiculous because I would have to sit there and scroll through like 100 pages of users to actually get there. So it's annoying. Yeah, Luthor, the salt penny is like the more you watch the stream, you get pennies. Like you can chat and interact. You can sub, you can just watch, and you get salt pennies. It's just like a stream loyalty currency that you can play around with. You can gamble it in the chat. You can duel each other in the chat. Just kind of a goofy thing to hopefully make things a little bit more fun for those hanging out in the chat.
I smell a defector.
So, let's see here. Unfortunately, they're not worth actual currency. And even if it was, knowing the way that I run things, inflation would probably be even worse with my currency.
War of mutiny.
I mean, you can't have Patchy in charge voting for Gorbel. I say inflation. Gorbel actually causes rampant deflation. And the reason I say that is because he's constantly just chopping people in half with an axe, and that deflates your day really quick, right? So Gorbel is good at, deflating prices, but it's also because he literally deflated your body, your head. Everything else that you own was deflated with a giant axe. So probably not exactly, the fix that we're looking for, but yeah. He feels like you're overly inflated with blood, and he has to rectify the situation. Alright, here we go. Took out the lizard armies. So our settlement is fairly safe, at least for the moment. There's going to be more lizards coming, and of course Wolfheart's at war with us. We have Skaven to our south. It's creating a bit of like a barrier between us and the next war. And these settlements over here have been built up some, so they're not totally defenseless. I feel like we should take Protocol the Pirate Lord and let him finish his recruiting here because he is almost done. We'll finish this recruitment and then we'll just head on to come up here and protect the jungles so that Luthor can continue on the X marks the spot journey. So we'll use Luthor to go ahead and just continue cleaning stuff up for the time being, and then we'll see what we can do to kind of finish things off. What do we got here? Winds of Magic Change. Wraithstorm Bombardment. Hey, I want this. all armies, we get Wraithstorm. Heck yes, that's going to be really good. Noctilus, eat your heart out on that one. Alright, let's see. Does this give us... yeah, that gives us some pretty good income right there. Okay, I'll go ahead and spin those. I'm going to assign skill points. So Reggie, the boot giver. Let's see, we got Kiss of the Deep, Tide Call. Tide Call's not bad, is it? Expanding tier shape attack, grounded. That's actually not all that great. This one's probably a little better. It's a debuff. Let's go there. Let's see. End our turn. Will Richardson, hey, Air. Would you consider doing a campaign spotlighting Albion faction from the OBN Lost factions? They're basically Scotland as a faction and great stuff. Yeah, I could try and check it out. I have some mods in mind. Regina sent me a link to a cool mod that adds high elf units. And that's another good idea. But yeah, I am planning on making a bunch of videos looking at different mods. People seem to like those. Like, they seem to be popular on the channel, like even more popular than my regular content. And so I'm just going to try making some of them. See what people think. Clone Trooper, you're amazing. I love how I can lose 10,000 salt pennies and it doesn't even, like, doesn't even touch it. All right, so the lizards are pushing back on us at Swamp Town. I don't know exactly where that's at. I think it's near where Luthor is. And all they did was just attack and run away, so well done. So again, the AI can dodge your artillery shots, but like right there, they attack my settlement, they defeat my settlement, and they sack it for just a tiny bit of money and leave, rather than like actually trying to win. It's kind of strange. Kind of strange. Senshi asked the 8-ball if Luthor can hug, and the 8-ball says, "Are you joking?" Anyway, so yeah, not gonna happen. Let's see, Pilgrim says, Luthor Harkon very cost-effective and have great melee defense for very cheap cost. Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. I mean, you'll see him when people are playing competitive Coast. And I don't feel like the Coast is in, like, a really bad situation at all. Like, I feel like they're doing just fine. Looks like Dracula Coven's gonna come after us here. They're suffering a lot of attrition as well. We're gonna have these lizard armies raiding on us until we get the other army up here. And speaking of get the other army up here, that should be a thing we can do now.
Darkness comes.
He was talking about bats. Bats to Luthor? What? Bats? What do you mean bats? Like attacking Luthor? I mean, I see people picking Luthor, though, occasionally still, though, even in multiplayer. So I don't know what you're talking about there, but I mean, Luthor is... he's pretty decent. Multiplayer.
There's no rest! Two more!
Evan Cooper. Holy crap, man. Thank you for the 10. He says, son, I'm Captain Luthor Harkon. Savvy? I do imagine Luthor Harkon as being quite a bit like Jack Sparrow, which I'm assuming is what you're going at there. And yeah, that does fit the bill in my mind. Or probably what Luthor is like. What do you all think? Do you all think as Luthor... There's a guy in the chat called Luthor Harkon. Oh yeah, Harkon's been with us here, Regina. He's now part of the ship, part of the crew. The answer is more javelins. Man, I like this. I like this 8-ball. It's almost like someone like me programmed it to say these things that I would say. Alright, let's see here. Skrulk ended a non-aggression pact. I don't understand why you're doing this, other than the fact that you're a filthy rat. Like, let's not attack each other. There's a gigantic order tide, rat, okay? Let me explain this to where even your warp-infused brain can understand it. Yes, yes? You see, many elf and man things all across map. They tried to kill Stab, all Skaven, and other evil factions. We join band together, or they kill us all individual alone. Yes, yes, understand? I mean, does this work for the warp-infused brain?
Brave guns. Fight.
Broken Sky says, this is the honorable Skaven technique, though. Kill allies at cost of self. Exactly. I feel like the Order Tide usually does a pretty darn good job banding together. The Evil Tide, on the other hand, like I was playing my Tyrion Legendary campaign, of course, whenever the player's in the Order Tide, the Evil Tide sticks together real well. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's constantly attacking you. Like, no one is working against anyone else except for the player. So, whatever. Okay, I like fighting, so bring it on, filthy scum buckets. Plus, when I get this other army up here, the little dreams and hopes of having, let's see, campaign movement range plus 50%. Alright, so we'll use our faster movement here and just get headed on. We're going to have to hope that our home territory can take care of itself, though we do have Skaven scheming behind us now.
Approach me, thing, and beg I do not.
See, he's at war with Clan Spittle. Look at this. He's got Bretonnia, he's got Marcus, he's got Lizards, he's got all this stuff around. He's at war with Clan Spittle. So this is why the Skaven are never going to succeed. I mean, come on, Skrolky. Come on. What's up? Why do they hate me? Treaties with Clan Spittle. So they declare war on Clan Spittle, and then hold it against me that I had a treaty with Clan Spittle. I also had a treaty with you, you know? Like, shouldn't that offset? What's with CA's stuff here? I don't know. I don't get it. It's like I had a treaty with you, and I had a treaty with them, and you hold their treaty like that it was something awful that I did. I don't understand. Of course, it is Skaven, so maybe I should just stop trying to understand and move along, because I don't think anything's going to come of it if I do. Let's see, is there any income from ports? Might be nice. Quartermaster, income from raiding. Dang, that's pretty sweet too. Let's work on that. Okay. Wolfheart may be sailing south towards me. We are at war with him, and he's got an army on the move here. I'm gonna actually see if we can intercept him on the way. The ways of the Ratmen are strange and incomprehensible. That's true. Which actually marries up nicely with the way that CA has programmed the game, because at least now it's all strange and incomprehensible.
Know that my deckhand's rotten.
Luthor says, "Oh, the Order Tide. I loved how I joined that alliance with the Sisters of Twilight. 3 armies, including mine, ganked in a single battle, Archaon from all sides. Then after Chaos got defeated, they declared a war of genocide on my Wood Elves." A-holes, yeah. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. The Order Tide will last right up until the point when the last evil faction's gone, and then it's dog eat dog. It seems like the evil factions all kind of fight each other a little earlier. Warner says Lusitani campaign is neato, but the lack of armor hurts a lot. Yeah, I like the Lusitani units. They had some fun units, like a lot of javelins. Their heavy sword unit was pretty fun too. It wasn't quite as good as an Oathsworn because it didn't have quite as good AP, but it was pretty close. I was wondering why it took me so long to walk across here. It's because there's no road between these two settlements for some reason. CA, please. Alright. I'll just keep trying to throw growth at that province. Where did Wolfie end up at?
Where to?
If he did keep sailing towards my coast, I can no longer see him. Let's stay close to the coast so we can see whether... Yep, there he is. Okay, stop.
Navigating. About done.
I can't quite reach him. I'd love to challenge Wolfheart here and kill him. I don't know whether we'll actually get the opportunity here, though. We'll see. Here's Holy Pill Gun. Let's do Powder Keg. Give him some extra ammunition. Some extra income would be nice. Since she's headed out for some coffee. Regina says, also in my experience, Chaos Tide is pretty strong, able to easily beat the Order Tide if I'm not scrambling everywhere to help Katarn and Karl. Yes, I found the same thing in my Legendary campaign with Tyrion. The Chaos Tide is unstoppable for anybody that they want to roll. It will absolutely roll through everyone. I don't know, maybe that's the way you want the game to be, right? Because it's kind of like the end times, right? Chaos rolling through things. Maybe that's the way you want it to be. Which makes me glad that they do have the the events that happened, because when the Chaos Tide got to rolling, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Scarbrand or someone was out in the
My
Badlands,
madness is not
and he had made a ton of progress as part of the Chaos Tide. But then when I got the event where the Green Tide or the Greenskins release a huge Waaagh, right? All their factions come back with a huge Waaagh. They actually ended up defeating Chaos in the local vicinity. However, in a different vicinity, I want to say it was like Festus or whatever, his faction destroyed the Greenskins. So it was kind of like hit and miss with the different
Nice place.
ones. But yeah, the Chaos Tide is pretty powerful. It would seem, at least. Okay, Poha. Let's look at the plant bundles. I mean, we probably have some limited trade. Where did Wolfheart go? Probably back towards his own.
Undead raiders.
Sail this way, see if we can spot him. I don't have any vision on Wolfheart yet.
To the wind.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and head north. Hopefully we scared him back, even if it's just temporary. Alright, let's see. Killscribe. But Killscribe has got some insane weapon damage now. I absolutely love it. Looks like we were working on Ravenous Attack. Oh yeah. That's what we want right there. Alright, let's see here. Elijah, I don't know why I think you absolutely had a typo in Streamlabs. Absolute, like, banned you there, or not banned you, but like put you in timeout or whatever. It says, he said, I've been watching for 9 years now, and I've been making my wife watch your videos as well. Love the content. Not to sound weird, I watch every single video since. Well, thank you, Elijah. Appreciate it. I think you put an extra S on the as, and Streamlabs came after you there. So appreciate the kind words and all the years of support. You know, the bots work good at censoring you all, and do a bad job of censoring the Slaanesh bots. So, you know, working as intended. Working as intended. Alright, here we go. Harkon, I mean, we might as well build up his flagship a little, right? Deathstreak Terror guys, deck droppers. Gunnery mob. Where do we get the deck guns? Is that over here? Yeah, deck gunners are up there. Deck guns are pretty cool. Ooh, it also gives us a wind attack there, too. I like it. Yeah, let's do. Let's go ahead and run that upgrade.
I am listening.
And then Harkon gets another upgrade. Melee and weapon strength for Leviathans, Necrofex, Colossus. That could be good, because we do have the Colossi. Let's go ahead and roll that. I'm not going to have a ton of money left, so let's ignore that for the time being. Get our growth commandment back and end our turn. PMSing None says, did you get the ship carpenter research or tech? I don't know yet. Let me go take a look, and I will see.
Watch your words. They will likely be your last.
Broken Sky says, where are the Slaanesh bots? This brought to you by @HolyPilgrim. I thought Pilgrim was the Slaanesh bot. I figured he was the one coming in here trying to get me to visit scandalous links. This faction has declared war on me. Okay, well, I don't know why Kimry is declaring war on me from across the map, but feel free. I mean, when you just hate the coast with the most, go ahead. That's right, Senshi, they're controlled by Romans. Oh, that's right. So Pilgrim is the Zinch bot. It's more of a schemer. All right, you're right, Broken Sky. That's true. More of a Zinch bot.
I am the Pirate King.
You are the Pirate King. I'm very proud of you, Luthor. All right, there we go.
No prey, no
Surprised Wolfheart isn't already sailing right back towards us there. All right, so I'm sailing the open seas there. We are well underway. Dropped our upkeep as much as we can. We need 10,000 gold. Probably better start saving for that, because that also drops the upkeep for that army. So let's save up 10,000 gold. Pilgrim says, my weekends belong to Slanesh, but my heart belongs to Zinj. I love it. Alright, so Hexatl is going to pointlessly attack Swamp Town again. They'll likely just sack it and run. No, they actually stayed there. Okay, alright, well. Better. Pointless, but better. Frederick says, is Luthor an old man or a young vampire? I don't know, what do you all think? Luthor, old man or young vampire? You know what I think I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to shoot some skeet this weekend. That's what I'm going to do. All this hard time at work, I'm going to go shoot some stinking skeet. It's going to be great. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go blast a bunch of skeet out of the sky and not worry about how much shotgun shells cost right now. I don't know why I just randomly thought of that, but that's what I'm going to go do this weekend.
Cutthroats, kill!
Warner says the answer is yesn't. And then Regina says he's an old manpire.
Everywhere.
That is an excellent answer. Both excellent answers, Warner and Regina. I like it. And Luthor says it's not polite to ask how old people are. I love it. Hey, what do you all think? If I do go shoot some skeet this weekend, maybe I should make like an Heir of Weekend video just to be silly, right? I'll have Mrs. Heir video me blasting a couple skeet. I'll try and also get some video of me doing a little bit of work on the skink army. I'm sure that would bore most people, but how about I put some of that up on the channel so y'all can see how Heir tries to relax on the weekend. I can show you all the crap shack out on my property.
What are we waiting for?
It's actually looking a lot nicer because Mrs. Heir started cleaning it up. Now, the people who I bought this second property from had like a little cabin thing out on it. And I'm pretty sure the reason they sold me the property is because they'd set up this cool like shed. They bought like one of these, it's like a 10 by 12 shed or whatever with a roof on it. And it has like a little loft up in it and everything. They put a sink in it. They had like a water tank behind it. And then they would bring their generator out and they would basically stay out on the property, like just to get away, like a little cabin on the weekend. Now, what they didn't bargain for was that they were in the middle of the woods in an area that unfortunately has some meth issues. So since they weren't there all the time, they, being normal people, decided to leave their generator and air conditioner, their stuff there. And of course, some people just drove up while they were gone and literally stole all their stuff. So I leave nothing of value out there, but I am wanting to go camping out in the little shack here soon, just for fun. That is like the one downside to small towns where I live. Like the crime rate is fairly low, like in terms like no one's gonna it's extremely unlikely anybody's like come up to you and like commit some violent crime or something. But there'll be unfortunately folks who are addicted because of like there's a lot of low income situations, and that just leads to a lot of theft. And of course, most of the time they know don't steal anything when people are home, because when you're stealing stuff from people when they're at home out in the boondocks, then it's very likely you get shot. So they're trying to show up when you're gone and steal everything. So yeah.
King of the Vampire Coast.
Silurius, thanks for catching the stream. It's good to see you tonight. I knew Luthor or Marcus was just gonna sail. He did. He just sailed around us and went back to our home base. What an absolute turd.
No.
That sorry piece of work. Well, that's gonna mess us up because we're gonna lose settlements that actually have. Dadgummit, I'm gonna have to make another army back here to get rid of him. I knew that jerk was gonna do that. Like as soon as I say that, it's just like the AI.
Yes?
Go pull crap like that.
A thing?
All right, I've got Protocol's army up here to take care of the jungles. I'm gonna go ahead and sail on out with Luthor on the next turn. The lizards took Swamp Town and of course immediately retreated when they thought they might face a challenge, which is brilliant, just utterly brilliant. I think what I'm gonna do here is, so I don't have to spend much money. We have another protocol. We need a Senshi Bat Fleet Admiral here. Why don't we just bring back this protocol and we'll turn him into Senshi Bat. Gain loyalty from defeating an army, wounding and killing enemy lords. Extra loyalty gained. Oh, we need to get one of the better ones, actually, if we're going to do it, because then I don't have to worry about their stupid, then I don't have to worry about their loyalty. As the character Trusty Montford. So which one would Senshi Bat be here? Would he be Trusty Montford? Wields a polearm, steals magic items. Would he be an infamous admiral? O'Bones McDonald here. Access to shipbuilding. Well, surely all of them have access to shipbuilding. Yeah, they do. Or the Dread Admiral, Senshi the Dread here. Two Toes Adley. All right, I think... Let's see here. Regina says, to be honest, if I had to be crimed on, I'd rather someone sneak in when I'm out than when I'm there. I had a friend who was stuck in her bedroom upstairs because someone broke in below. Yeah, the folks, like I said, the folks who are doing these break-ins know, like, I mean, it's small town Southwest Missouri. If you break into someone's house when they're there, you will get shot. Like, they probably have more guns than they do family members. Like, you will be shot for breaking into someone's house. So they definitely come when you're not home. And I agree, Regina, I agree. Because, number one, I don't want to shoot anybody out of fear for my life or anybody else. I don't want that. And number two, yes, I don't want to be caught in that crime because I don't want to be injured or have my family injured. And so, yeah, I agree. Like, if someone's going to come rob me blind, do it while I'm gone. Stuff can be replaced. You know, people can't. So I'm all for that. Broken Sky says it's not like LA. No, it's a lot different. Everywhere has crime. Yeah, everywhere has crime. I guess it brings itself to bear in a different way. So I could probably walk down the street in the town where I live here. Like it's a small city in Bella Vista. It's kind of like a little village place. I could probably walk down the street with a bag that says $100,000 on it, literally with $100,000 in it, and no one would bother me. And I could probably do that, you know, like day or night, and I'm sure like no one would bother me. Like, I mean, the crime here is almost non-existent. Like, I'm pretty fortunate. Like, it's the lowest crime in the entire state. Let's see here. Maybe guns are their family members' heir. Don't be judgy. Well, I mean, it might be. I mean, there's certainly guns that you can spend more money on than a family member. So, yeah, it might be, Regina. You might be right. I can just see some redneck, which is like basically my progeny, sitting in the living room, polishing the gun, like, oh, Bessie, been in the family for so long.
My madness is not weak.
I love it. You know, I kind of grew up. I'm not a redneck, like an actual one, but I grew up close to a lot of them, and I guess I feel close to them. Like, they feel more like family than anything else. Like, I would feel way more at home amongst rednecks than I would city folk. And so I like teasing them, but it's more of like a love tease. You know, like I tease them because I like them and I feel like I identify to some degree with them. But yeah, it's fun stuff.
I hear voices.
Growing up in a small town, like, it's just kind of normal. That's just what I'm used to.
Seas on my domain.
All right, I'm going to move a protocol this way. There are building upgrades available. We got to get Senshi's army up, but first I need to go in here and do his research. Let's see. Pistol and I think Senshi would like a pistol and a cutlass. Let's do that for Senshi. All right, so Senshi, we're gonna get you a Dread Admiral here, and then recruit you. Right there. Check. Done. Man available. Get my growth back for like the 15th time. Don't want the outpost to enter turn. Regina says, wow, really? That's a lot of money on guns, but I'm not surprised because, oh, guns are extraordinarily expensive. Like, yes, there are quote-unquote cheaper guns, Regina, but I mean, like, guns are extremely expensive. They cost a lot. So, like, if you want a 30 caliber semi-automatic rifle, for instance, it's going to cost you like $3,000 or more just for the rifle. And then for like a box of 20 bullets, even the cheapest bullets, you're going to be like about $1 a shot. I mean, so every time you pull the trigger, it's like you might as well just light $1 on fire. Like certain guns are extremely expensive. So it's, and some people love, like it's like their thing. They're like collectors. Oh, man, Skrulk is going to turn on us. That is bad. Yeah, they're collectors. Like I have a rifle, shotgun, pistol, stuff like that, all the basic stuff. And, just for, like the shotgun is for sports, recreation. Like I like doing trap shooting. I do a little bit of bird hunting, that kind of stuff. I don't shoot my rifle hardly at all because it's just too expensive. My rifle is one of the cheaper ones. And every time I empty a magazine in the rifle, it would cost me, I want to say it's, pretty sure it'd be like $20 a magazine to shoot it. So it is crazy expensive. Some bullets are cheaper than others, though, Regina. I'm talking like 30 caliber bullets would be in that range of almost like $1 a shot right now. 22 caliber bullets are a lot cheaper, and when people want to shoot a lot, that's typically what they'll shoot. They'll get a 22. It's a lot lower caliber. It's not near as loud, and it's just fun for target shooting. Like, so you don't have to wear ear protection because the 22 is a lot quieter. It's way cheaper to shoot, and those are pretty cheap for a box of like 200 or 300 bullets. And then you can just like shoot little, steel targets with them. 22s are really good at hunting small game, so they're a fairly popular rifle, like just in terms that kind of stuff. So they don't have much recoil. A lot of people like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Depending on what you get, it can be very expensive. Automatic weapons. So like I think a lot of people have this idea that you can just go like grab automatic weapons. That's definitely not the case. You have to have like a government special license to even be able to purchase one. And of course, they can no longer sell automatic weapons to civilians. That was a law that was passed, I think, back in the 90s. And so they're a limited quantity, and like anything of a limited quantity, they're extremely expensive. So like, for instance, if I did manage to get a license from the government to be able to own an automatic weapon, and let's say that I wanted to get like an MP5 or something, like a submachine gun, it would probably cost $20,000 plus just to get the gun. And you have to go get the firearms license on top of it. And then you got to pay for the ammo. So I mean, like it is exorbitantly expensive if you want to get into it, because like I said, they're a precious commodity now because you can't make any more of them, so the only ones that can be owned or bought or sold are the ones that were already in circulation. And so they're very rare, and you have to have the right licensing, and you can't just go shoot them anywhere either, and for good reason, right? Like, I mean, no one wants people just out popping off with machine guns somewhere, and so there's only certain places where you could even shoot it, and like, so, I mean, it's very limited. Very limited. Or you can go to Vegas, and I'm pretty sure that there's places there where you can just pay and get to go have the experience. I'm sure it's not cheap, but, it's like Vegas. Nothing may be cheap, but whatever you want to experience it, they'll make it happen.
Gunnery White.
Luthor says here you can get bows and crossbows without a license. Everything else, you need the paper. Yeah. Crossbows and bows are really popular here, too. People love just, like archery. Like, they like doing it for, hobby. And the cool thing about archery is that, assuming, you have a backyard with, like, a fence and, a decent backstop, you can practice archery right in your backyard. Obviously with a rifle, you're not going to be, like, standing in your backyard shooting. So a little bit different. I mean, unless your backyard is many, many acres. So yeah, I mean, bows are really popular here too. People love bow hunting because it's more challenging. And then I think they just like learning, the sport of archery. And honestly, I think one day I'm going to try it as well. Compound bows are really neat, and I understand why they're popular because they're probably a lot more reliable for hunting. But if I ever do get a bow, some part of me wants to get like a recurve or a longbow, so that you like have to learn like some legit old school archery. But I definitely understand the compound bow and why they're nicer. You can have it, you can lock it back, you can get the sights and stuff. And then crossbows, I mean, I was down at the tackle shop the other day getting some hooks before I went catfishing. And they also have archery stuff in the tackle shop, and the guy was showing me these crossbows he had. It was awesome. It had like a crank where you don't have to draw it back. It had this crank system where you could crank it back to fire again without having to do like, you know, stand on it and draw it. So it was really cool. But yeah, I think I would like to probably learn some archery one day. I feel like it would be a really interesting talent to try and take on. It obviously seems like something that requires a great deal of skill and practice, and it's intriguing. Probably a lot cheaper than guns, as long as you don't go too crazy. Regina says, oh, I'd like the idea of picking up archery, but I don't think you can get a bow here. Really? They wouldn't let you get a bow? Huh. I could see maybe crossbows getting some regulation, because they can get pretty powerful. But yeah, bows, I've never heard of bows being regulated. I mean, no one would want you to bring your bow and just like walk into a store or something, obviously, right? That would probably not go over well, depending on where you're at. Like, I don't know, again, that depends on where you're at. Like, when I go to, if I just go to a Walmart up in Missouri, like, it's very common for me actually to see someone with a pistol on their hip. It's because the state, you know, you can open carry a firearm legally, assuming, you know, you're not doing something illegal and the place of business doesn't forbid it. So, like, I mean, it's not unusual for me to just see someone with a gun on their hip and not be a policeman, but yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be very different. Like, even though that is the case some places here, like, no one, yeah, I mean, it'd be weird. Like, if you just, like, walked into a place with a bow in your hand or a gun, people would be like, huh? What? What's going on? Especially in today's climate, unfortunately, with all the crazies out and about. Like, you just never know when someone's gonna go absolutely stupid and harm a bunch of people, unfortunately. It's terrible, of course. Absolutely hate that. I'm all for, if people break gun laws, being, you know, swift and firm on that. If you break the law with them, get them. My parents just moved back to Missouri. Yeah, I like Missouri. Missouri's got like a big variation. Like, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, you have some big cities in Missouri between Kansas City and St. Louis. I don't like being in those big cities, but then you have like a lot of small cities that are kind of cool too. And Missouri's got like all these different areas. You got like the flat farming areas. You've got the you know, out in the plains, and you've got the southwestern kind of like Ozark spot that's super pretty, and then you got the Mississippi River coming down one side. You get a lot of interesting stuff. Like, it's a pretty good sized state. And it's got a lot of very beautiful land, Missouri does. Fort Leonard Wood. I've been to Fort Leonard Wood a few times. My two older brothers, when they went through basic training, it was at Fort Leonard Wood.
Kill them. Raise them.
It's up by Springfield, I think, isn't it? Could be wrong, but I think it's up by Springfield. Barbaric says, funny note about Morn Ghouls, the models were too graphic and received a mature rating. CA went back and put a bunch of effects on the models to cover up the gore, but it didn't carry over to Warhammer 3. What, really? So we get the model that was intended? Ha! That's awesome. Alright, my stream just got banned from YouTube for being rated mature.
Let's sail.
YouTube's gonna get me. All right, well, that was sweet. That pirate loot we just got there is gonna pay for Senshi's army and help us put an end to Wolfheart. So Senshi, the Prophet Bat, is going to come in and help us against the Wolfheart scourge here. Small Missouri towns are really cool. I'm excited to visit for Thanksgiving. My parents are super into bass fishing, so they're in a lakey area. Yeah, there's a ton of fishing in Missouri. Table Rock Lake is awesome. I go up to Table Rock Lake every summer and spend like a week up at Table Rock, and it's great. There's some pretty lakes. I definitely like Missouri. It's a cool place. I like being out in the woods in Missouri, though, of course, too. Like the smaller towns, the lakes, I agree. But I mean, there's some big cities, if that's what you're looking for. They're there. Joe, thanks for being a member for 40 months. Beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you.
Admirable of the fleet.
Yep. I've never lived in Missouri. I wasn't born there. I was actually born in Oklahoma. I've been to Missouri a bunch, and I go vacation there. Like I said, right now, I live 15 minutes away from the Missouri border, and I own a small piece of it in McDonald County.
My mind.
So I own
Mutiny.
80 acres of the beautiful sovereign state of Missouri. So it's fun. Some small piece of it is Air's salty acres. It's been awesome. I might live out there one day. I don't know. I'm considering whether I want to build like a little cabin. I don't think Mrs. Air would like it though. It's too far out for her. Since she says I want to see Branson and the Ozarks again. Yeah, Branson's cool. Definitely pretty touristy, but it's a neat place. And they got a lot of fun stuff to do. And the Ozarks there, like that Branson sits in, are very pretty. They're fun to see. Definitely fun to see. I'm gonna just kind of get some cheap gunnery mobs. I think Deccan mob. I don't know. We might as well try and give him a proper army. Get some Sirens and then maybe some Deccan pistols, like just to make it a little bit cheaper if we have the Deccan pistols. Let's let Senshi's army start building up here. Salty Acre Farms, that's right, Polaris. Of course, my property would be terrible for farming. It's way too rocky and hilly. I would have to cut down a ton of trees, and then it just, like, the terrain would be terrible for farming. Now, you could make a nice little garden out there and stuff, and certainly have, like, a, like, kind of, like, family-sustaining type garden, but I don't think you'd be able to get away with any full-fledged farming. What you could do is clear out all the trees, and you could probably run some goats or cattle on it, though. I don't know how many cattle you can raise on 80 acres. You probably need a lot more land than that for cattle, but you could probably do a couple, and you could probably put a lot of goats or something out there. I would pick up the accent in no time. Is there anybody listening to this that believes I have any type of, like, hick or southern accent, like small towner or southern accent? Obviously, if someone's in a different country, they probably can tell that I'm, American. But I'm curious, like, for other folks in America, do I sound like I'm southern or country or anything else like that? I feel like, for around here, no one around here considers me to have an accent. Mrs. Air actually has a little bit of an accent. It's pretty cute. She grew up in a small town. She's actually got a bit of an Arkansas drawl. And then one of my little boys has kind of picked it up from her. Rebecca says you do not. Pretty neutral. See, that's what I've heard from folks. Like, it sounds fairly neutral. Liam says it sounds like I'm from Northern Virginia. Actually, Virginia is one of the states that I have not been to yet. I'd like to go. I do have a sister-in-law, and so it's my wife's sister lives in Virginia with her husband. He works for the State Department. I need to get out there and see him sometime. Mid-Pennsylvania-ish. I have been to Pennsylvania. Mid-Pennsylvania, actually. I got to stay in the beautiful town, and I'm being a little bit facetious, and although I'm not trying to run anybody down if they're from there, it was wasn't for me, but Frackville, Pennsylvania. If you've ever been through Frackville, Pennsylvania, then, yep. I stayed there for like a couple of weeks doing some work once. Good times. Wasn't much going on. So it was go to work, go back to the hotel, go to the same subway, eat, go to sleep. Like, it was pretty straightforward. Alright, let's get the quartermaster work done here. Alright, with protocol, let's go ahead and spend our extra money to... I don't have enough growth. What's going on with his...
The sea knows my fate.
Oh, there it is. Okay, let's build the sea cabin, because that'll drop the upkeep, and we can also build another building to drop the upkeep even further. That'll give us some extra money to fund Senshi's army, which is badly needed at the moment. Gina says, you don't sound like you have an accent to me, though you have a bit of a drawl compared to, say, Pilgrim. But I didn't realize it until you pointed it out. Yeah, it can be noticeable. but I don't think I have much of one. A lot of people around me did growing up. I was probably one of the few who didn't. Oklahoma has a bit of a different twang to it than, say, like,
Well,
some people in Arkansas have the same kind of twang as folks in Oklahoma, but if you get into, like, actual, like, the parts of Arkansas that are like, I feel like Arkansas has multiple parts, too. Parts of Arkansas are, like, the deep south. When you go there, they have, like, a southern drawl. But then there's other parts of Arkansas where it's, like, what I would just call, like, country accent, right? They just have, like, a country accent from, like, small towns, where it's not the same. I think some people get confused with, like, deep south kind of sound and, like, just kind of like a country accent to me. And then there's, like, a Texas kind of like cowboy accent that's, like, a whole different thing as well. And then Louisiana, holy cow, like, they're off in their own world. Like, they've got something going on in Louisiana that's like nothing you've ever heard before. Liam says, I'm from there, and a lot of peeps sound like air. Regina says, when I think of American country accents, I think of those guys in stereotypical Western movies. Yeah, that's like a cowboy accent. And if you go out into, say, like, Western Oklahoma or, like, West Texas, you'll get a lot of that. Like that kind of cowboy accent. But, you know, otherwise, there's, like, kind of just like a small town kind of... It's going to sound insulting, and I don't mean it in an insulting way, but I call it a hick accent. Hick just being, in my mind, someone who, you know, lives a simple life in a small town. Again, I'm not trying to be insulting.
Plotting a course.
Because I probably am one, technically, based on where I grew up. Now, see, I really like the cowboy accent, Regina. I love it when I'm in cowboy country. I love going everywhere. People are wearing the cowboy hats. All the guys are in, like, button-down shirts. You know, and whenever you go past, howdy, you know, like, they just talk to you. Like, everybody's real friendly. I love it. Like, I like, if I lived in cowboy country, that'd be fine. I'm not a cowboy. I would obviously stick out like a sore thumb because any small cow or goat would be throwing me around, you know, like a rag doll, and they would be laughing at me because I have no skills whatsoever in ranching animals. But I still would appreciate it. I would like it. Would I wear spurs? No, I can't walk in cowboy boots. I've tried it. I don't know how people have learned to walk in cowboy boots. It's pretty impressive, actually. I feel like it's a skill that people don't understand how much talent it takes to actually remain standing in cowboy boots. So it's pretty impressive, like, that people can even walk in them, if you ask me. And that's beside the fact that it's impressive that they can, like, manhandle, you know, cows and horses and stuff like that without getting kicked in the face. And I don't know, maybe some of them just do get kicked in the face, and it's unpleasant. I don't know anything about beer, Rebecca, so I couldn't tell you. I'm actually, like, one of the 3 people in the world who choose not to drink, so I know nothing about it. But I do know that growing up, everybody loved it. Except most people were just drinking whatever was cheap. Here, where I live, there's, like, all kinds of little microbreweries and stuff where they're making, like, IPAs and stuff like that. And, of course, all the people I work with love that kind of stuff, so they're always trying to explain it to me, but it never really makes any sense. Warner says we've already seen Mob Boss Patchy, now we're going to need to see Cowboy Patchy. Cowboy Patchy would be a sight to behold. Well, if CA would just give us a Wild West Total War, we'd be all set. Maybe CA could, like, do their... Since they did Alien Isolation, right? Maybe they could do their own version of Red Dead Redemption, and then we could have Cowboy Patchy. What do you think?
Luthor Harkon!
Regina says I really get self-conscious when I wear heels in a quiet place that have stone or hardwood floors. I can't imagine spurs. Yeah, it'd be terrible. I'm the same way. Whenever I have dress shoes on, they have, like, a hard sole, and I have to, like, walk down a hallway, and it's like, you can hear, I mean, you know that everybody can hear you from, like, 6 or 7 miles away. It's pretty embarrassing. I don't wear high heels, but whenever I'm wearing dress shoes with the hard heels, like it's clicking and clacking everywhere, and pretty annoying. Let's throw some grape shot on here. Let's try out our new one too, see if it's any good. But yeah, if you were wearing spurs down like a hard... I mean, first of all, unless the floor was something very, very strong, I would assume the spurs would be leaving some beautiful marks all over it that the owner would not be very happy about. Which would be honestly fairly entertaining. Just see someone coming in with spurs and leaving big gashes all over the floor. In like a restaurant or something. But hey, maybe if it's one of those restaurants where there's just sawdust and peanut shells all over the floor anyway, it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can just go for it. They don't really care. Well, we're going to pick up another nice treasure here. Alright, there we go. How about you be dead now? There we go. Dress shoes are the worst. High heels go clack clack, but dress shoes sound like you're stomping about as hard as you can. Yeah, I only have... I have a couple of pairs of dress shoes because I used to have to wear them to work. And then work just became like increasingly casual. And so now I kept them because it's like, well, I don't want to need dress shoes one day and have to buy them. But I rarely ever wear them. I feel so casual now. Like whenever I started working, like a casual day meant no tie. You know, like you'd be wearing slacks and a button-down shirt and all that kind of stuff. That was a casual day. It was no tie. And it was real casual if you wore like a polo shirt instead of a button-down shirt. And now, like, I can go in like jeans and a t-shirt. I mean, heck, the people in the tech area come in like wearing shorts and stuff, and no one even cares. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm fine with it. Like, I mean, if we have a reason to dress up, fine, dress up. But I don't know who we're kidding, like packing ourselves into a bunch of cubicles where no one's going to see us anyway. And then I wouldn't understand why at that point you would take the time to like be dressing up fancy so that you can look good sitting in your cubicle. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's a thing that's gone by the wayside that in some ways I kind of miss, like, 'cause it's kind of nice seeing everybody look nice, but at the same time it's like, yeah, you know, that's pointless, and like you're just wasting your money and your time and wearing uncomfortable clothes that no one wants to wear anyway. So
crowded psyche.
I'm gonna pop in here real quick and heal, and then we'll sail off to the Phoenix Gates. Looks like Protocol is gonna be in good position. Oh, was I building some? I was building something with him. Whoops! Or no, we already built it. Good, we built it. I don't have the cash to build the ship's wheel. Or no, I don't have the... Oh, we gotta go all the way to tier 5 first, my bad. But that should help a little bit with our upkeep cost. Let's see if we can scare off Mazda. Oof. He has upgraded his army since last time we saw him. That's actually not great, but I think Protocol's army is not bad. Hopefully we can fight him off. We'll see. Gotta be careful because we're gonna need to gain enough experience, of course. Let's see. How do we want to handle this? So we got Wolfie. Senshi is picking up his first units here. Okay, good, good. Got some units in the queue. Throw some deck droppers. I feel like deck droppers would be a lot of fun. Let's get like 3 of them. There we go. Okay, so we'll keep the recruiting going. Not going to spend any money on the buildings right now because probably just get attacked. Need to just end our turn again. A vamp healer. We do need a lore of vampires probably in your army, essentially would be helpful. Oh my gosh, we're getting attacked here. I mean, it says he's gonna win. I mean, maybe. I mean, he's got a lot of tough units here. He's got some Cold One Riders, some Horned Ones. I mean, we got the Gallows Giant. My leaders aren't particularly powerful, but I mean, let's try it. Never know. We might get killed. If we get killed, we already have Protocol 2.0. We'll make Protocol 3.0. I mean, they can't stop me. There's an endless number of protocols. This is definitely a much tougher army than what he was walking around with previously, and he's on Zlok as well. So we're going to be in for a beating. Yeah, I have to see if we can do this. Air's now getting into the mindset of a vampire. That's right.
Enemy!
Whatever dies, we just reanimate. I'm not worried about the heavy losses. Dementia! Thank you so much for the 10. He says, taking a break from the current disaster of Thursday night football, 3-0 at half is a bad game, folks. Hey, well, this year's a disaster for me in football, too, because I'm a Sooners fan. Yeah, it's probably the worst season they've had in like 30 years. So... and I hate it, and it drives me crazy, but then I just think, you know what could be worse? Being a Cornhuskers fan. So yeah, I hate that football's bad for you. I look forward to football season every year, even though I never played football. I like watching college football. I really enjoy it, and I was super excited for it this year. And then it's just been a big fat bust. So, not thrilled. Definitely not thrilled. But, you know, hang in there. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it won't be a total disaster. I'm gonna save the bloated corpse, and we'll see whether we can get him into a good position.
Captain!
Effects giant. Gallows giant, okay. I don't know, man. Our leaders just aren't super strong in this army. We'll see. Matthew says, saw the Kansas State-Oklahoma game, so sad. Well, that game wasn't near as sad as the two games that followed it. I've never seen, like, in my lifetime, I don't think, well, I mean, maybe I have, because the 90s were really bad, but it's been at least since the 90s that I've seen an Oklahoma team get dismantled that badly. And, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not great. But like I said, could be worse. Could be a Cornhuskers fan, and that is rough. I feel for them. I do. That has got to really suck for people who've been lifelong Cornhuskers fan to go from like being competitive in the national scene to being happy that you just beat Rutgers last week. But hey, I know what they're feeling. Like I would be pretty happy with just a win against Kansas, and that's hilarious because in years past the win against Kansas was an automatic. Now to Kansas's credit, they are a much better team this year. They're actually looking pretty good. So I do expect that the Jayhawks will actually bring a really tough game. Stupid banishment. Mazdamundi and this oh, we're gonna get hit by like 17 banishments, huh? The Coatls probably. Do all of them have like a minor banishment? I can't remember. Yeah, that's probably why it said we were gonna lose this battle. And if they do all have those banishments, then yes, we probably are gonna lose this battle. If that's the case. Let's go see if we can blow up in these horned ones. Oh, a little bit of friendly fire, a little bit of friendly fire. Do it, do it, do it. Yes! All right, oh my, yeah, they all have it. Oh my gosh. There goes an entire unit of my infantry. Look at that, 4 banishments. All right up on the exact same point. Oh my gosh, what a joke, and it's a bad joke. This is not great. Things could be better. All right, we have got to gun down Mazdamundi, and we got to do it in a big hurry. Going after my sorcerer. Okay, this is bad. Things are not going well. We're getting absolutely tanked. So I'm pretty sure that this is the end of Protocol 2.0 and that we're going to get majorly delayed on our trip to Ulthuan because this is going to be a full rebuild. We are screwed. How did our depth guard get... Oh, Mazdamundi. I was like, how did our depth guard get mauled by that stuff? Mazdamundi, that's how. trying to put a lot of shots into Mazdamundi, but it's like even if I kill him at this point, they've got so many units left. And they've got another quad or quintuple banishment coming up. Here's a ruination of cities. Rest in pieces, all my men. Yeah, look at that. Went right through all my troops, of course. Right through them. Yawn. We are getting absolutely crapped on, and there is nothing that can be done. We are utterly screwed. Here comes the banishments, round 2, so we're about to get hit by a quad banishment here as the second round gets fired up.
From salt.
I can't get my guns free. Yeah, we're just getting absolutely destroyed. Not even close. Unless the Coatls only get a single banishment. They might only get a single use of the banishment.
Fleet captain!
Whatever, this is pointless. We're getting wrecked. Alright, so I got us killed there. Well done, Aaron. Well done. Banishment 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, that was a bust. We were not well equipped for that army. That is a ton of single entities. And just, Mazdamundi is good on any single day with all that magic. Like, I mean, he's just really good against infantry. Like, the AI is good about just instantly using any anti-infantry spell they have, and they'll use it and just use it on what they think is the most valuable target. And they'll do a lot of damage with it. And had I remembered that they had access to all those damage spells, then I definitely would have understood that auto-resolve. The auto-resolve was actually pretty correct. I mean, maybe you could win that battle with some like really nice cheesing of the AI and stuff like that, because you certainly have a lot of AP and stuff like that. Maybe if you were able to bait a unit somehow, I don't know, because I didn't have any speed really in that army, you could bait some units in, shoot them up, get them killed, but I don't think so, just because they're sitting on so many like spells that I think that's unlikely. So we did actually get away alive with Protocol, which is pretty great. That's pretty fantastic. Let's see, Zombie Pirate Gunnery Mob, Regiments of Renown. We gotta wait there. So let's just go ahead and grab a Raise the Dead Gunnery Mob. So we could use that. In fact, we're fighting this many single entities. I might go ahead and just grab another Gunnery Mob. Let's get one more. Oh, we don't have another Raise the Dead Gunnery Mob here. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Protocol's ship here. We do have pole arms. We're gonna need like several units of pole arms. We've already got a couple. We would need probably at least a couple more to help protect the guns, like to just get thrown in as fodder. We don't have good recruiting capability up here, unfortunately, so that is gonna be a big time bummer. Because to get our Sirens or Depth Guard back, it is not gonna be easy. Not going to be easy. So I almost wonder if maybe you just stand on the pole arms. I mean, got no armor though. They get absolutely shredded by the cheap infantry. Oh, I'll figure it out in a minute. I don't know exactly how I want to do it. Oh, it damages your stuff here? That's wacky. It's gonna cost us a lot to repair. That sucks. I guess it makes sense. You're walking around with your ship, so when your army loses, the stuff gets damaged. That's actually kind of cool. I hadn't noticed that before. I mean, that actually kind of makes sense. We could get Sirens by building that. Let's do that. Okay. Harkon will give us some cover, because I feel like Harkon can take on this army, especially now that we damaged it some, but probably all by himself he could have taken it on. Alright.
Admiral of the fleet.
Well, wasn't pleasant. Setback's a setback. We're gonna deal with it. We're not gonna save scum it. No reason to do that. Drop the upkeep of that army some.
My mind's warm.
And Reggie gets a skill point. We were lucky that Reggie didn't get killed there. Hex triggers when casting. Okay, so it's like a damage when you're casting. Okay, that'll work. I'll take it. Assign skill points
smell
for
a defector.
protocol. Let's do Ghost Fleet. Income from sacking, magic items, recruitment cost. Ship when fighting at sea. With freebooter. I really want to get a hold of Lightning Strike. Protocol.
There is little honor.
And then Holy Pilgun,
amongst
also
vampires.
fortunate to survive here. Let's give him Shark Bait so he has more hit points. Senshi, thanks for the 2. He says, Res Dementia. Thank you, Senshi. I'm glad that we have your
My
character
madness is
finally
not
joining us in a
weakness.
campaign. It should have happened sooner, but it's happening now. Senshi is going to be defending our home coast here. Defender of the home coast. Legamus, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here and being a channel member. Marcus, good to see you. I don't remember if I said hi. Dementia says, please res me again, Air. Wait, did Dementia get killed? Which one was Dementia? Remind me. Nice, they're back at Swamp Town. No big surprise there. Oh, a bloated corpse. Okay, yeah, I'll get you another corpse. That's right. You were the hey, that was a brave explosion there, taking down that big unit of horned ones and copping all that fire. Dementia says he's the Star Trek red shirt of the. I love that. Oh man, I love that. They should make a show. Like, I mean, the Star Trek shows, in my opinion, now maybe you like them. If you do, it's fine. But I think, honestly, like the new Star Trek shows are crappy because they're not Star Trek. Again, maybe you like it. If you do, I'm not insulting you. Just for me, it's not Star Trek, so I don't like it. So since they're going to go down a road of things not being Star Trek, they should have just made a show called Star Trek: The Red Shirts,
Serve for eternity.
and that's what the show was. Like, it was just, you know, red shirts getting killed every episode in hilarious manners.
No prey, no pay.
Maybe it's rated TV mature. I don't know. But yeah.
Sea knows my fate.
I tried watching what was the new Star Treks they did? The
Their magic will
oh
be
crap, I can't remember the name of it right now. The one with the crazy fungus drive ship. There was parts of like season 1 that were actually kind of cool. Like, and this is just me, it's a preference thing. Like swearing and all the other in-your-face stuff doesn't really fit in Star Trek in my mind. Like, so it's not Star Trek at that point. Like, it wasn't cerebral enough to be Star Trek. I think it's okay to make Star Trek a little more exciting than it used to be, but you know, just it didn't feel like Star Trek. But there was parts of season 1, and I can't remember. I'm gonna think of the name of it here in a minute. What was that one with the spore drive ship that could like warp anywhere super fast and crap, I don't remember what it was called. Discovery. That's it, Discovery. Yeah, the first season of Discovery was not bad. Like, I kind of liked like the whole alternate universe thing they did. That was actually pretty cool. Like, it was pretty good.
Sea dog.
But it's just weird to be watching Star Trek and you got F-bombs going off and stuff like that. And I'm just like, huh? Like, what? That's not Star Trek. But, you know, again, the story wasn't terrible in the first season of Discovery. And then I watched the second season, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that was kind of, yeah, we're doing the time travel thing. Like, time travel is like the go-to for writers who want to be lazy and just make up whatever they feel like. And so, of course, they go straight to the time travel plot, and I'm just like, all right, you're losing me. And then I was thinking about watching Star Trek Picard, and basically found out that it's just another kind of goofy, grimdark one that's loaded with F-words and doesn't really fit the Star Trek genre. And I watched some reviews and trailers, and I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm just not interested. Because I do like Star Trek a lot. Like, I really liked The Next Generation. That was kind of like my jam growing up. It's a bit goofy and corny and over-idealistic, but it was a fun show, right? It was a fun show. And I felt like that was probably part of the fun that people liked, right? Is that sometimes it was overly idealistic, right? It's supposed to be looking at the human race, trying to evolve into this, you know, higher frame of mind, stuff like that. It's cool, right? Again, very idealistic, not totally realistic, but that was cool, right? It was its own thing, and it was fun. Deep Space Nine was pretty cool. Like, Quark, I mean, Deep Space Nine was okay for me for the most part, but Quark, like, any episode that had Quark was worth watching by a long shot. I feel like he was, like, the big character on that show. Voyager was kind of hit and miss for me. What's sad is that the holographic Doctor was probably the best actor. in Voyager. Like, it wasn't bad. Voyager wasn't bad. It had its moments, right? It had its moments. Other moments in it were kind of excruciating, but had its moments. I was never a big fan of the original series because it was just too old for me. And, yeah. I really liked Enterprise. Enterprise was probably my favorite Star Trek series, which puts me on the odds with a whole bunch of Star Trek fans. Actually, I felt like Enterprise finally struck the balance of idealism, but people who kind of felt real, and not quite as boring as like older Star Treks, but not like too crazy, like action-packed, punch everybody in the face kind of thing, right? So I felt like Enterprise like actually got like the whole formula there. But what's funny is that a whole bunch of people hated Enterprise, and I was like, what? I was like, I felt like they finally got Star Trek right. I mean, T'Pol was an amazing character. Like, she's probably my favorite Star Trek character of all time. I don't know, it's pretty close probably between her and Data. But, I mean, T'Pol was a fantastic character. And, I mean, Archer was pretty fun captain. And I feel like the engineer, what was the engineer's name? Trip. Trip was also a really cool character. But I feel like T'Pol was like, she did amazing in that show. Like, she was another one. Her and the Doctor. Dang, what's the Doctor's name? I can't remember it right now. But yeah, the Doctor in Enterprise and T'Pol, I mean, they were some well-done characters that made the show really interesting. Harkon says, I've watched original series, Next Generation, and Enterprise. Yeah, those are all worth watching for sure. And, I mean, what you like best is probably going to vary, right? On whatever it is that you find most interesting in a series. Like, mileage will vary, right? It's going to depend on what you enjoy. But for me, Enterprise was quite good.
The seas are my domain.
Alright, let's see. So Protocol's Army, we're going to need more than a few decent infantry. I don't know if Sirens are going to work up against the Lizards. Like, they're normally a pretty decent unit, but I don't think they're going to cut the mustard here, and I don't think mortars are going to be worth their time. The Carronade might. I'm going to disband the mortars, and I'm just going to pull in more depth guard. It's going to cost a lot to pull in the depth guard that I need, because I can't recruit them locally. But I feel like Sirens are just going to get absolutely shredded with magic, and there's plenty of units with magic attacks, too. So yeah, it's going to be rough. I might pull in one Siren just to kind of round that one out. Luthor says, I really dislike Trip for the same reason I dislike Chekhov to Hey Ya Partner and Hello Comrade and Space for my taste. I don't know. I guess I could see that for some people with Trip, but he was cool. I like Trip.
My mind's worn.
But like I said, I feel like T'Pol carried that show. Like, what's funny is that she's the emotionless character, right? It's kind of like Data. Data was the comic relief in The Next Generation, even though he's the completely emotionless character. And it's the same thing for T'Pol in Enterprise. Like, she's the emotionless character, but she provides all the best comedy all throughout the entire series. Favorite Star Trek movie?
Darkness comes.
Some of the original series movies are actually pretty decent. Star Trek 6 is a good one if you're into the original series movies. As far as the Next Generation movies, I mean, probably... Like, honestly, the first Next Generation movie with Kirk and Picard in it was just a little bit meh for me. Like, all I really wanted in one of the Next Generation movies was, like, a good War with the Romulans movie. And some people are like, well, Aaron Nemesis, he was kind of weird, though. Like, you know, it's like he was fighting against that, you know, one-off Romulan. It wasn't bad, right? So that one wasn't bad. Insurrection was kind of lame. And First Contact was probably the best TNG movie, just because it had the Borg, and it was kind of like your classic stuff there. So, I feel like the only point of Star Trek movies, though, was so that you could actually destroy one of the ships to make a new one. So it's like every time you... let's see, where was the Carpenter that I was supposed to get here? Ship's Carpenter. I did get the Ship's Carpenter. We should put that in Protocol's Army, because he's going to be building a bunch of those. I don't remember where I put it. Campaign movement range, line of sight, leadership in the Lord's Army. That could be good. Not a fan of Khan. So yeah, Wrath of Khan was an okay movie. It was pretty good. pretty good. T'Pol, I liked as well, but for some reason most people didn't. Second character that I liked in in Enterprise, I'm assuming you're saying, is Phlox. Yeah, Phlox was awesome. I feel like Phlox and T'Pol definitely did a lot of carrying the water on Enterprise in terms of like characters that, you know, you just really enjoyed. You know, Phlox just always kind of being happy-go-lucky and stuff like that. He was a nice additional character. Like, he wasn't too serious. He was always teaching them things, you know, like on their journey to understand, you know, new races and stuff like that. He would try and keep their mind open, right? And so that was cool. And then you had T'Pol, you know, with all of her logic and stuff like that too, which was cool. But yeah, I definitely feel like Phlox is pretty neat. Regina says, all I know about Star Trek is Picard Tommy gunning Borg. Exactly. Yeah, that was a good one.
Sadists, but I can show you.
Oh, come on, Rakarth. Come on. Let's be friends. Well, I was expecting to go for the Phoenix Gate tonight, but that is not going to happen. We have got some ground to make up here because the Lizards are playing a little bit mean with us. Lizards are not playing nice. Bringing in the Enterprise F from Star Trek Online for Picard 3. Yeah, I saw that. I've not played Star Trek Online, really. So I'm not real familiar with it, but...
A pleasing scheme.
Yeah, Picard's just not going to do it for me.
Just, waste.
It's not working. I don't feel like they should have ever brought back the TNG cast. Their stuff was classic. Just don't touch it. Leave it alone. I feel like if they were going to do anything, they should have maybe set another ship kind of like in that timeline, because that era was very popular in TNG. Just gotten a new cast, new ship, kind of set up something obviously with newer, better visuals, stuff like that. Maybe there's like the odd Easter egg or something, right, where they run into the Enterprise, or you hear about the Enterprise when they're on it. Like, I think that would have been fine, like in terms of fan service. But instead in Picard, it's like they have to try and drag back every actor for some reason. And it's just like, I feel like it's one of those shows that's kind of like Disney, where they're just trying so hard to give everybody a cameo all the time that it just turns into a how can we fit literally every character ever into this movie. And it feels like that's what they're always doing. And I don't know, it gets tiresome for me whenever the only purpose of a show is just to cram in every nostalgic thing that you can. And it doesn't even have like that good of a story behind it. Harkon says, I like the episode in TNG with the slavers. I loved how the slaver picked up T'Pol by the auction house where she was like a doll, emotionless and annoyed, really cute. Yeah, I remember that one, the Orion slavers. Yeah, that was a fun episode. Like I said, T'Pol was quite the character. She was interesting.
I have no equal.
Souls are booty.
She kind of starts off as an antagonist, and then, you know, as you slowly get to know her and understand her, like she grows. And again, a character that I thought was well designed, interesting, and that the viewer became attached to. Like, I feel like she's a good example of a character well written, right? Like, she's kind of annoying at first. She's getting in everybody's way. She's on the side of all the antagonists.
I smell.
But then you start to understand more about her. She starts to understand more about the people around her. And then just a very nice, slow build of change. And, like, you get to see the growth and the change and the characters as they come along. Like, so I thought that was nice. Nothing was, like, just quick, sudden, or cheap. So I feel like they did a good job developing a lot of those characters. Again, just my 2 cents. If you don't agree, no big deal. Don't take any extra grief from me over it. Alright, Senshi, I'm trying to get you stacked up here. I feel like Senshi needs another hero, though. He needs a hero. Morgul. We can't get a Morgul. We can't get a Gunnery White. But we can pick up a Vampire Fleet Captain, which would bring some... Bring some extra heals.
Captain, on deck.
Alright,
Time
let's
to
replenish the
press
troops for Senshi. And who's going to be joining Senshi?
My madness is not weakness.
Let's see. Alright.
I'm getting twitchy.
I want to be in an ambush stance here, actually. I want to lure... I want to use this settlement as bait and see if we can lure in those lizard armies for an ambush, because otherwise Hexata will be a little bit too difficult for us to go after. So after original TNG and Enterprise, should I go for Deep Space Nine? Yeah, Deep Space Nine's pretty good. It's really pretty solid. To me, it had a few characters that were a little bit annoying at times, but then they weren't always bad. So like Nerys kind of got on my nerves sometimes in Deep Space Nine because she's just so like serious and angry all the time. But there's other times when she's fine, like, and you kind of get her character and understand it. To me, the Bajorans are a little bit annoying. Like, they're pretty irritating, but again, they're fine at times. I feel like, though, as far as cast goes, like, I mean, Sisko's pretty cool, like, pretty good captain character. I mean, fun, serious guy, but, you know, also, you can get to liking him and his son in there. Like, I feel like they're pretty good. Odo is an interesting character. Quark is a really funny character. Of course, eventually, you know, they bring in Worf and O'Brien. O'Brien's not bad, you know, he was kind of like a spin-off from TNG. He's not amazing, but he's not bad. You know, like he's a pretty good character. And then the Doctor's pretty good. Bashir, Dax. Yeah, I mean Deep Space Nine's pretty good. And then it kind of has like a bigger story arc later into the seasons that's kind of interesting because it gets into kind of like a longer, drawn out story arc that's pretty interesting. So I think Deep Space Nine is definitely worth watching. Q gets punched in the face. Dermentia says the first two seasons are and then after the third it gets good. Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like Deep Space Nine hits its peak a little bit later. But you'll need to be patient early on in Deep Space Nine. I agree. Be patient with it early. The payoff does come. I feel like it is pretty good late into it.
Ahoy!
Come at me. I welcome it.
Alright, let's see if we can lure these guys in. The lad says Deep Space Nine felt so un-Star Trek to me, all politics, no exploration. Yes, so I think that's why the first couple of seasons were rough for me, lad. I agree. There was like just tons of politicking and stuff in it with the Bajorans. Like I said, that part to me was a little bit tiresome. Later into the seasons, you get a little bit better story arc. I don't want to say what it is, just in case people haven't watched. Obviously, I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, you get a much better story arc later into it. I think. I keep foiling my ambush here. Is there anywhere better to ambush from around here? Okay, there's an ambush chance from like right
The
here.
land is easy.
Let's move up there, set an ambush. Alright, I'm trying to draw them into an ambush. We're going to be running low on money now because we got our other army up, but we can use this army to come put extra pressure on the lizards and finish them off. And then Senshi's army should be large enough to kind of help. Oh my gosh. Volkmar just sieged us. Holy cow. Volkmar showed up with the whole freaking empire. And it says his one army is just going to absolutely trounce us. Now, don't get me wrong. Volkmar is extremely dangerous. And he is on his chariots. We'll have to keep a very close eye on him. But the rest of his army is utterly beatable here. And his reinforcements aren't even showing up. So this is a little bit strange that it's giving him such good chances. If we can just not feed all of our kills to Volkmar, try and tear him down. He does have a lot of missile resistance, but if we can shoot him to pieces, the rest of his army is gonna fall apart. So let's do this. Yeah, they have silver chevrons, so his units aren't gonna break quite as easy. But I mean, still, like just a bunch of archers. Like I don't feel like that's gonna go over really well for him. I feel like we can win this. If we can deal with Volkmar, the rest of this is cake. You know, like get rid of Volkmar, the rest of his army is going to fall apart. That's fun that we got onto this, the subject of Star Trek. Star Trek was a fun show for me growing up. It was a fun show. Definitely enjoyed it. My earlier years. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take the Gunnery Mob pistols. Kind of use them as like a frontline chaff, right? And then I'm gonna put like a second long line of chaff here of halberds. And then in the very, very back, I'm gonna keep my best stuff.
Orders! Orders!
So we'll keep the sirens and stuff in the far back here.
From salt.
From salt. But we'll have a big line of halberds here, and this will hopefully be for kind of just slowing down Volkmar's forces, because what we really want to do is feed him a steady diet of bullets, like a whole lot of bullets. Got a couple of deck drop bombers, which ought to do good up against their infantry, so let's keep those in reserve. We don't want the archers to just suddenly shred them. And then we've got a good number of deck gunners back here as well. I don't recall the Empire having a whole lot of cavalry.
Powder west.
Let's go ahead and take a couple of these units, kind of block off the flanks here, like not make it real easy for the enemy to get to. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Okay.
Fleet, Admiral!
And then we need artillery. Oh, we've got an animated Hulk. The Hulk will block shots. Pirate Gunnery Mob. But the Hulks, we can use them to kind of mass block a little. I'll just keep them back here in reserve, a little bit out of the way. Again, bombers I want to keep in reserve. Once we've dealt with some of the enemy units, I'll bring the bombers up to kind of chew on them a little. Start our deployment. We'd like to get Volkmar. In fact, I'm gonna try and use my bats to. Oh crap! Deploy this over here. What a mess. I'm gonna pull that over. I'm gonna go use my bats to try and draw some attention right towards the middle of my lines. Get him, get him, get him. Go, 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 go! No, I was late. Darn it. Should have saved that until they blobbed up on me. I thought we had a good opportunity there, but that did not work out the way I wanted. Alright, he has a bunch of archers. Let's go see if we can bait his units into moving straight towards my line. We attacked them, so it says we're going to lose if the time runs out, so that's fine. So I'm going to have to attack them.
Sage my sword!
I think we'll have superior range, so we'll try and use our superior range to our advantage. Actually put that on that side so it doesn't have to go quite as far. I'm sitting right outside of archer range here. Let's just go do some poking and prodding here with the bats. I don't want to get... Oh! I don't want to get lit up, especially not by huntsmen. Okay, well, we know they got a bunch of huntsmen over there. Huntsmen have very nice range, and they will do tremendous damage to our bats. Okay. Let's hold our ground here, and I'm gonna bring my deck guns up. Should have superior range with the deck guns. And then as soon as my mortars get in position, I should have the range I need as well. Fast forward a second, get my deck guns to the front of the formation. Our deck guns are not going to be very far outside of range of those huntsmen. So we'll need to be quick on the trigger with our pistols here.
Gunners!
Luthor says, I hated all the episodes that were like holodeck that took place on Earth, like Detective Data and such. Yeah, I hated those too. They were not particularly fun. They were slow and annoying. I agree. Like, I was watching a show in space because I wanted it to be a show in space. Like, I didn't really care about, like, what if Data was in the Wild West. You know, I wanted to watch the show about space.
Always crew.
I came for the sci-fi, and that's what I wanted to see.
Get lubber.
I'm gonna scoot my pistols up a little. Oh man, my deck droppers or my deck gunners are getting some really nice shots.
Gunners!
I'm gonna back the deck gunners up though, because the enemy is coming forward quickly and they are very slow-moving units. So we'll leave our pistols again. These guys up front are just to kind of disrupt, get some damage done, like bait some spells, stuff like that. So they are definitely going to be throwaway units here. They have guns. Whatever damage we get out of them is just a benefit. See, it baited that banishment. It's giving our deck guns time to pull back. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pick up Volkmar as a target here. I'm going to push. Oh no, our guns are already in range back here. That's really annoying.
Sea prey.
Okay, let's... It's not quite the right spot for that. There we go. Let's let them have it right here. Oh man, all of our hand cannons are just going to town on Harkon. He is resisting it very well, though. Okay, we're going to need reinforcements here against the great swords. Let's send the sirens to help here. I need all my deck guns on Volkmar, and I need all my hand cannons on Volkmar. Need some reinforcements here. He's getting... Yeah, he is very resistant to my missiles. It is not ideal. My deck droppers are going to get shot up a lot, but even if they can just be a temporary distraction here for the archers, like just to keep the archers off me, it may be good. Maybe this is waste. I don't know. Holy crap, look how resistant he is. This is why I said that Volkmar is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Holy smokes, look at the fire that he's copying and just taking it. It's incredible. Incredibly annoying. I'm gonna take these hulks and move out and around after those archers. I can't let my guns flood all these archers. But I also cannot pull my fire up Volkmar, really. Oh, crap. Getting KO'd here by the archers. I gotta move my guns back. I'm gonna take a siren out here as well. Let's go crank those halberds. Take a siren out there. Take one out here. Swing these hulks around. Alright, we just need to start putting some pressure on these archers to get the pressure off our guns. If we can get the pressure off our guns, then we win this. Wow, Volkmar is going to be so riddled with bullets, and he may not die still. I'm going to have to bring in yet another polearm unit to help hold this middle here. Unbelievable
Fleet Admiral!
how much damage he is absorbing.
Dark Hex!
I'm going to keep going for archers. Animated hulks, I need you to get out here. Alright, we collapsed that flank. I'm going to move these guys towards the center. Alright. My deck guns are shredding archers. I've got sirens that can move up and pressure these huntsmen now. I think we can do this.
Captain! From the maelstrom!
Volkmar got into my guns. If we don't get some focus fire into Volkmar and kill him quick, then he's going to finish us off. Volkmar is an extreme risk to us at the moment. Sirens came in very handy here. Very handy. Oh my gosh, Volkmar has just absorbed fire. Look at that. He is still just kicking right through all of our troops.
Always true.
And Dex!
Blood on the sand.
Unbelievable. How much of a savage beating that guy can take. Alright, I'm going to get into all these huntsmen. Things are not great here for us. I thought we were going to take this one pretty handily, and we are not by any means taking this handily.
Power and death!
I mean, Volkmar has been absolutely saturated
Captain, to you!
with attacks, and he is still just rolling right through us like they were not even here. something here to stop these great swords. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop Volkmar.
Enemies, whale!
I can't stop him.
Arise to my dominion!
From souls.
Look at this. He went straight through all my units. He's being shot by almost every unit on the battlefield. He's been shot for like
On way!
6 or 7 minutes straight. However long we've been fighting, like he's just been shot the entire time, and still isn't about. Like, I mean, holy crap, this guy.
Shayash!
Corpse crew.
Oh my gosh. Volkmar gave us all we could handle here, just like single-handedly. He's finally getting low on hit points. My units keep getting all blobbed up because CA can't seem to make a unit that fires when it has line of sight.
Vampire
CA,
captain!
please. Oh my gosh, just die, Volkmar, die. Boy, Senshi got a real trial by fire here up against Volkmar. I mean, he's probably going to have like 700 kills or something when we get to the end of this. This is unreal. Like, does he die? Is he killable? I had a unit crumble because it was taking so long to kill him. There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, the reason I didn't send the depth guard, Regina, was because they were, you know, he's good against infantry, and I figured he would just slaughter my best units. I kind of wish I would have taken the animated hulks up against him. I think that's what I should have done, was use the hulks. Oh my gosh, what a Chad. Look at this completely unkillable Witch Hunter as well, like it's routing, completely surrounded, and like not getting damaged at all because of the CA's crap where you just get knocked around instead of hit. Look at this, this is so stupid. CA fix this. I mean, for crap's sake. I think that it's a combination of things. Like, I think you have units getting pushed around by all these other units, they can't land a hit, but then I also think that the AI is still getting absurd melee defense buffs or something. Which is why, like, when I mouse over them, you know, you can't see their stats because it hides their stats. See, the guy is I know he's resistant to missile, but he's 25% missile resistant, unless he had something else. I looked at it before the battle, it said 25%. I mean, I fired so many missiles that I feel like that would have killed any normal unit, even up to and including Scarbrand, about 5 times. Like, I hit him with so much stuff. And so I was a little bit surprised just how resistant he was there. Like that, I feel like 25% was a lie. I feel like he was about 70 or 80% missile resistant there, maybe. So yeah, that was utterly obscene. I'm trying to kill off all these heroes so I don't have to fight them again, because I think that the auto-resolve likes giving these guys better chances. This is just ridiculous. Come on. Oh, look, my own mortar killing my own guys there. That's good. All right, in battle. Ay, wow. Well, Senshi, it's quite the premiere there. I'm surprised it's only 148 kills. I feel like he got way more than that. And I don't think it counts all the damage whenever people were healing it off. So I'll have to look at my settlement garrison and see how they did, but that battle started off a lot better than it ended. Like, we were doing some pretty solid damage to them early, and then Volkmar just came in like one-man team, just throwing down on us. Oh, really? We haven't renamed Senshi yet, but it killed almost all of his good units. Dang, there's a whole reinforcing Volkmar army right there. We're gonna have to do a Raise the Dead and a replenish here,
It's only mine.
because there's a whole second army here. Eben Leetdorf. He's got Tomb Kings in his army, for goodness sakes.
Admiral of
The Tomb Kings make good with the Empire, but they want to fight me. Be hard to use bloated corpses, but I'm gonna need just about anything I can get here. Anything else I can get like near instantly? No. Well, I'll take what I can get. I don't know how the auto-resolve treats bloated corpses, but I need something. I'm gonna leave these last 3 slots open. Well, maybe I'll merge these because they're damaged, and then we'll go to raise the dead. Go ahead and pull in these ones. We just gotta bolster our numbers. Like we need the numbers up. We gotta play the numbers game here. There, let's try that. Hopefully the second army will sail away. But, I mean, the garrison at Protocol's Cove took a beating there as well. Wow. I did not expect Volkmar to show up right there at the most inopportune moment. They'll probably put their 2 armies together and come after us. Alright, boys, we're headed to bed. They wanted to come say goodnight. Man, I don't know. I feel like the auto-resolve's being pretty nice to me in this one. I think I'm gonna... Oh, it's gonna kill all my Syrenes, though. I mean, it is quite likely my Syrenes get killed here. So that would prevent them... Like, if I don't do control large army... We only get 20 units on the battlefield at a time, and I feel like that would help me because then it would keep these Cold One Riders and Stegodons all on kind of like a one-off, and the other Coatl as well. I could just re-recruit my Syrenes, like it probably wouldn't take that long. There's another army back there. There's another army right behind him. I mean, the auto-resolve is a good result here, I think. I just don't know how badly it's going to damage all the rest of my units. The thing is remember there were 2 Lizardmen armies in the vicinity, and I think this is the other one here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the auto-resolve. I don't love this. I think it's, you know, we might be able to do better, but I don't want to risk it and like just get in there and take like some like horrible banishments and lose all my troops, and then be out an army up there as well. I feel like we can get our Syrenes back really quick, and that's like a safer route to go there. Like, if I was much gutsier, I probably... Oh, they sieged me with that second army there. Holy crap, that sucks. But we need to attack that second army. Hopefully we can win, because they're over there recruiting now with what's left of Volksmar. This is bad. This is real bad for us right here. That is bad. Wow, this episode has not gone as planned.
Luthor Harkon.
We got most of our Syrenes back off of... I guess the dead shall rise again, or whatever that's called, that mechanic where you pick up your units there again. So we got most of our Syrenes right back. I think I'm going to flip to an extra depth guard and go with less Syrenes. I
Admiral of the fleet.
honestly think I'm going to pull Protocol back to the home base for now to help Senshi, because Senshi might already be gone, to be honest. May have to have make a second Senshi already. Cavalry. I mean, their infantry is light years ahead of us. I do have 3 bloated corpses, and they don't have any missiles. I mean, we might be able to do this with all these bloated corpses, with the howitzer. We just have to get rid of this Empire Knight. So if I can use the animated hulks, maybe, get into the Empire Knight, we might be able to pull this one off. Gotta start making friends. I tried, ain't no meaning. I've been trying to make friends. The Skaven turned their back on me. The Dark Elves are attacking me. Like, I don't understand what people's deals are. Like, whenever I play as a good faction, all of the evil factions combine against me. All of them. Like, all the demon factions and then everybody else. And so this is just a good example of the player not getting the same benefit of the doubt here. Which is funny because, like, when I play Order Tide, like I am with High Elves, yeah, a few of the factions will turn against me early. But ultimately, like, almost all of the Order Tide factions will join me. And I always feel like I always have an easier time on the Order Tide campaigns than I do with these.
Always crew.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set kind of some loose spaced deckhand mob up here. Like, I think I'm gonna intersperse some pistol fire. Like, I kind of want to wear their army down a little with the cheap zombies. And then have the much stronger back line of infantry.
Deckhands.
Something like this, maybe. And we're definitely gonna need to get some severe damage in with their guns. So I'm thinking we'll do something like this.
Zombie.
And then I can maybe put some guns out on the flanks like this. We're gonna have to protect those though. So if I put maybe some animated hulks on one flank, and then I just don't have any other units for blocking mass. I do have a siren. I'll use the sirens on this flank to help cover the retreat of those handguns. Fortunately, I've got a couple of deck guns. This is going to be super handy. Deck guns are going to really shred. I'm going to start within range. Okay.
Captain.
Alright, I feel like with the bloated corpse, I want to use these early and just blow up entire units, because they don't have any missile units to counter this. So I've got to get the bloated corpses and run out ahead. I think we can do this. I think that we can do this and do it pretty well, actually.
Ahoy!
And get away from that forest just a little bit. Okay. Let's get all of our missile units into a defensive stance. Same thing here, defensive stance. Okay. Here's my leadership.
Pirates of the undead!
Senshi.
I'll drink soon.
Okay, let's start the deployment. I'm gonna try and bring some of these. Can we resurrect? These units are undead, right? Oh, they're capped though. Dadgummit. I hate that cap. I don't feel like that it should start capped like that with vampire units. That makes sense with like regular units, but since Invocation and Heck can resurrect units, I feel like it shouldn't start with the cap on there. Like, you should be able to resurrect units. Skeleton warriors, great sword. I'm gonna target those great swords. We're gonna force them forward. We need to find their Empire Knights. Okay, their Empire Knights are under center there. We're gonna have to kind of keep an eye on them with our hulks. See if my mortars can get some damage good. Nice. Scored a hit. Wasn't spectacular though, but whatever. I'm not charging into them. I'm making them come to me. Like, they are flat out going to come to me. Alright, they are on the move, as I expected they would be, because we've got the range. Either that or they're trying to artillery dodge. Not really sure which one. My mortar is not hitting anything, and I'm sure the exact same thing would be true if the AI were in control of the mortar, right? I'm sure that that would be the case.
Ready. Show us.
Some halberds coming up on this flank.
As the tide.
Have to keep an eye on these Empire Knights over here. We're getting good shots already. That gunners are picking off skeleton warriors. That's not an appropriate target. We need to shoot the great swords. Great swords are almost out of range though. So let's pick off the great swords. Alright, bloated corpse into action. That unit of great swords is an excellent looking target. Don't want them to hit the bloated corpse. I'm gonna try and avoid that. Halberds. Oh yeah, we got a spectacular hit right there. Okay, let's pull those guns back. Pull these guns back. Pull these handguns back. Right. Okay. Send in the animated Hulks. I'm gonna need some reinforcements here.
Gunnery mob.
Let's fall back to kind of a more secondary position. We got some good hits with our what do you call it? Bloated corpses. The bloated corpses did very well. Let's fall back a little here. Deck gunners. Pick a next targets. Great sword right there. There's a nice looking blob right here. Let's pepper the side of that blob.
Corpse crew.
Need to fall back a little bit with some of these guns. We're too close to the main line. Let's go bring these bombers in right behind the main group.
Undead.
Artillery, maybe target that blob. Let's try and poke these gunners right there in that hole. Let's send reinforcements up.
From salt.
Pull back the guns a little bit. I'm gonna need some reinforcements right there. Our animated Hulks are somehow got stuck in a halberd unit rather than actually fighting Empire Knights. I'm gonna end up paying a dear price for that.
Gunnery mob.
Need Senshi and the other vampire to get ready to come fight this Empire captain.
Razgungum!
Okay.
Off deck!
Gunnery
Back up here at the gunnery mob. Bombers, just light them up like Havoc. Gotta shoot into that flank of great swords right there. I need to scoot.
Moving!
Okay.
Fleet Admiral!
Senshi, help me get in here and KO this guy.
Alright,
You gotta take these Empire Knights out. Okay, that is absolute worst case scenario for me right now.
on the way.
Gotta save the deck gunners. This flank over here is kind of falling apart. It's gonna need some help. Okay, we got rid of the knights. Oh my gosh, that's such a boon for us.
Moving!
Gun those knights down, please. Get some guys in position here. This fight is quite a bit more desperate than I had hoped it would be.
Up on deck!
Okay, we just got a terror route right there on the great swords. Chase him down. Don't let him come back. Those two units are way too... Oh crap, the great sword already came back from routing. What a bunch of garbage. Right, gun that great sword unit down. Senshi, I need you over here. Okay. We actually somehow managed to clean this one up. That is great news. I think we killed the Empire Knights or drove them totally off the battlefield, one of the two. The bombers actually did really well up here. That's be a problem. I need Senshi to come in after this guy. Buff Senshi up a little here. Oh, we did it. You did it, Senshi. We gotta rename your character, by the way. But you did it. Look at that. Senshi taking out 2 full stacks of Empire without having the ideal army. Look at him. He's got his crazy cutlass and his crazy pistol. He is preaching the word while this loser flees. Go back and tell your Empire what happens when you come to the coast. Get out. Yeah, that's great. That is great. Alright, that was a huge victory. Those bloated corpses. How come it doesn't give the bloated corpses the kills? I don't understand that. The bloated corpses each killed like a ton, and it didn't give them the stuff. Like, is that still... What's up with that? Didn't give them the kills, but they definitely got the damage done. That was awesome, Senshi. I mean, that was absolutely clutch. Problem is there's still leftovers from those two armies. This one's garrisoned and recruiting troops. replenishing.
Admiral of the fleet.
So we're gonna have to go put a beat down on them. We got our corpses back. That's utterly ludicrous. I'm gonna grab another one. They were actually pretty helpful there, and I'm gonna grab a couple more of those because this is gonna just make our army look stronger, and then the garrison is gonna keep most of its strength on the turn end, and we'll hopefully wear these guys out before we have to deal with Marcus. Look at this, we're getting an incursion from Bretonia as well, so protocols definitely have to come home. Things are getting really hot on the home front. Let's go put in Senshi's name here.
Undead raiders.
Alright, Senshi Bat, the Admiral Prophet. There we go. We need to name his companion here too, okay? So if there's any of you feel like you need a character here, or have a funny name for a character,
There is
let's bring it in.
honor amongst vampires.
Well, there's honor for Senshi Bat. He earned it. Alright, we gave him the hunger. Let's go ahead and start down this road here so he can replenish his army quicker. Freebooter, this one, so right after this we'll be able to help some important upgrades to Senshi's army that'll help drop his... Peggy Rogers is pretty neat. String along, Lieutenant String along.
Luthor Harkon.
Alright. Baywatcher. Alright, Senshi, since it's your army, we'll go Baywatcher. How about we'll leave it as Peggy Rogers, because the name's kind of funny. So we'll leave Peggy Rogers, but we'll do this. We'll put Peggy Rogers up here on the top. And then Baywatcher will be the title. Alright, there we go.
Admiral of the fleet.
So we picked up some
A defector.
really nice skill points here. Curse of Undeath, there we go. So, I want to get as much healing as possible. Help our armies be a lot more potent.
What
Luthor
are we waiting
is
for?
gonna be ready with his troops here soon. When I recruited this one,
My
did I
madness
accidentally
is not
grab that from
weakness.
Global? No, okay, I did it from the Luthor recruiting. It just takes 2 turns to pick up. I don't really have... Well, we do have a couple turns, so we're gonna have to do some healing. Skeggy Peggy, the vampire from the north. Alright.
Curse my crowded psyche.
Skeggy Peggy. I like that a lot. Alright, I'm gonna do that. We'll keep Baywatcher.
The galleon awaits.
Let's see. I wonder if we can... No, okay, we gotta get rid of Rogers. Alright, there's Skeggy Peggy. Senshi says I'm loyal, Luthor, honest. Hope so, Senshi. Don't turn on us, okay? We need you. I feel like I'm just gonna pick up a couple pistol mobs on this turn too. We gotta pick up as many troops as we can, as quick as we can with Senshi, because I mean the pressure is on down there, and we never know as soon as we might end up having to face against.
Sea dog.
Let's upgrade the cabin there as well. We have unassigned points for who? Harkon. Alright, Harkon picks up his points.
Harkon.
He does need some attack, but I mean, hit points are like always a go-to, as is defense. I feel like defense is never wrong for a character. Hornswoggle, I don't even know if we're gonna have enough to get to it. I may have to respec Harkon if we want Hornswoggle. Okay. Scribe picks up a couple points.
Of mutiny.
Wow, Scribe is looking really strong here. Does tremendous damage. Let's do Carnophage here. Give him extra melee defense.
There is little
There we go.
honor amongst
And
vampires.
Have some extra money, but I'm not gonna spend it right now. Let's end our turn. What's the general build for a mid-game coast? Well, it depends on who you're fighting. If whoever you're fighting is prone to terror and poor against magic, I think Sirens are going to make up a decent portion of your infantry, maybe mixed with Depth Guard. As far as, like, I don't know, if you want just more like Doom Stacky type stuff, a lot of Necrofex Colossus. Depth Guard are pretty great, both the polearm and the standard variant. They're pretty strong. And then you want to make sure you have magic. They're going to take huge advantage of heals. And then Lore of Deep has the, what do you call it? The, oh, dang. Oh, they spawned the dinosaur army. They did the right where they spawned the all-dino army. What the heck was I getting at there? So the... Yeah, I mean, giant crabs can be good, again, if the faction's really bad against... you know, like leadership debuffs and, you know, like greenskins, for instance. I would hit the greenskins with a lot of big crabs and sirens and necrofex, stuff like that. If you're fighting against the lizards have a lot more magic, so sirens are a little more risky. You'd probably want to stick to, like if I was really going to counter the lizards hard, I'd be bringing Depth Guard with pole arms and some guns and, you know, just some other single entities to help hold up some of their units. Like, if I was going to really idealize my build against the vampires, or against the lizards. The lizards are very different than, say, like if I was going up against Empire, or say I was going up against, you know, High Elves. Like, it really just depends on who you're up against. Like, if I was going to be up against Wood Elves or something like that, I mean, I would want to have kind of like a somewhat expendable front line, and then a whole bunch of, like, deck guns and other stuff to just shred archers from a distance. So, I don't know. You'd have to figure that one out. Like, it's going to be very different. You're going to need some mobility. Morn Ghouls might be a good pick in certain cases against the Wood Elves, because they can, like, Vanguard deploy and get into the archers and stuff like that. You're just going to have to think through what your options are. You could also just bring a whole lot more armor against the Wood Elves. So, like, for instance, you could go like full-on Depth Guard and a whole bunch of Rotting Prometheans, because they're all heavy armor, and you could just push really fast and really hard against them and try and play that to your strength. Hexotl is looking unguarded at the moment. I don't know where those two lizard armies went, but if we can wrest Hexotl from their control, that would be a win.
Despoil and...
Yeah, it's going to give it to us pretty clean here.
Goddamn like this. Nice place.
Yeah, their armies moved. Don't think they can get all the way back to attack me there on the next turn before I replenish. They might, and that could end up being a big problem for me, so I may have just made a big mistake. I don't know.
Blood and plunder.
May have just made a mistake. I'm gonna... Well, I'll remember where this auto-save's at if I need it. I might have to go back to that auto-save. But I hope not, but might pick up this treasure on the way through yet. We didn't stop though, so I don't know if it's gonna give us the opportunity. Okay, let's check out the offices here. So, Protocol the Pirate Lord. We really want this position right there, but it has to be required rank 8, required loyalty 5. Senshi is already rank 8 because he had all those battles. So Senshi, you are now the fleet secretary. And let's see, Protocol the Pirate Lord. This one also has to be, oh, that one's rank 10. So we can put him in as the fleet warrant admiral, which gives him extra replenishment. Attrition when at high seas, right cost, research rate, construction, upkeep for deck droppers, terrorgeist scurvy dogs, ammunition for pirates, strengths. I don't remember which protocol is which. I think this is the one that's out there actually fighting right now. And I mean, I guess we can go ahead and just throw him there too. All right, so they've all got some offices. Senshi, our fleet secretary. He's not only the Prophet Admiral, but he's also the Prophet Admiral, Profit, right? So he is both types of Prophet.
Hear me!
I think I'm gonna throw more and hard to hit, and then we'll be able to get taunt. And let's see.
My eyes warn of mutiny.
Darkness
And we got
comes.
buildings available. Buildings are not my concern
crew are
at the moment.
restless.
One of the armies for Volkmar is sailing away. That is good news. They might both take off,
No!
and I would love it if they do.
The fleet master has spoken.
So I may be able to pull protocol
Dead raiders.
back this way. So I think whoa, man, there's another one headed our way too. I don't know. I think Senshi can do this. I'm feeling pretty confident in
Landfolk are
him.
weak.
But I mean, it is.
There is
We're asking a lot
little
because it's brand new lord
amongst
here.
Vampires.
He's got a lot to handle. Skeggy Peggy, we're gonna make her better at replenishing, and then we'll probably get the drowned there. Let's end our turn. Now, Protocol's Cove does have walls, but I had to sally because they had me sieged, and they were going to start taking. I was going to start taking a lot of attrition, and I really didn't want to
Better
fight them in
captains than
close
you
quarters
have met their
because of the way that
ends
the coast
trying
fights.
to best me.
So I really wanted to fight them. Why were we at war anyway? I really wanted to fight them on open ground where I could shoot better at them. So I mean, that's ideally. We needed our artillery to do the job there. We didn't have enough hard-hitting infantry to just win that in a melee, so we definitely had to have the artillery. Okay, it looks like one of the Empire armies is going to try and sneak off and
for
do damage
eternity.
to us.
No.
But they are taking a ton of attritional damage and really won't be able to overcome any of our garrisons. So there's no need for Senshi to give chase at the moment.
Yes?
And let's see. This build. Being the potential pole arms would be good too. There we go. I'm gonna spend a little bit of money
I
on
have
Senshi's
sailed
boat.
the world.
We have too many bloated corpses. We gotta rename one of them Dementia. I don't remember. SCHA. CHA. So Dementia 2.0. I'm gonna get rid of the rest of the bloaty boys because we need some more melee capacity in this army. So let's start putting this army together right. It's gonna cost us, but we're gonna need some better units. Like that. Senshi's gonna have some meat in this army. We're gonna need to get rid of these pistols and pick up the handguns, but for now, we'll be alright. Like, I'll take what I can get.
Crazy!
They did not attack Luthor, and that is very fortunate for me, because had they come and pinned me in up here, that actually would have been a pretty solid
My
move.
minds agree.
Starting to get reinforcements there
madness
as
is
well,
not
and we're healing
weakness.
rather quickly. Let's see, if I do...
Undead pirates!
Like, I don't need this right now. Probably doesn't hurt to be able to do more recruiting. Those probably aren't the buildings I need right now. We're getting some money from the gold, that's nice. We're gonna want growth, I can put the growth there. We honestly just need some more income, and I can recruit most of my good stuff from my own flagships. So I'm gonna do a little bit of right sizing there at Hexotl. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring...
The galleon.
Actually, let's hit this treasure real quick. Protocol. Give us some money and maybe him some experience. Alright, so let's loot the carcass. Protocol's gonna have a fight here up against a pretty decent army. The auto-resolve's gonna give it to us, though. Oh, maybe it was showing his army? Because I don't know, whatever this is, that's really weak. Is that Dementia right here as well? I think that was you there as well, Dementia.
I am your master.
So weird that an NPC faction would split like that. Yeah. Alright, we picked up 6,000 in the treasury. That was a nice grab. Let's scoot up here. Get the expansion. Need 20,000. And the growth. Let's just save our cash then and see if we can get to the 20,000. And then Senshi probably needs some buildings as well. Oh, that reminds me. Especially with Senshi having to build all these things new in his ship. I wonder if we could get in here on Senshi and go to the ancillaries and get the ship's carpenter. Got a quartermaster. Ocean map right. Ship's carpenter. So let's grab the ship's carpenter and then let's drop these things we were building and now build them because now they'll be half price. Okay. There we go. So now we saved a bunch of gold. So since she's got half price ship sale now. So we got the carpenter in. Protocol picked up some skill points. Do go on account, and now we can start doing this upkeep reduction, and that's what we need. We need to hit the upkeep reduction with all of these lords, so that we can field huge armies, huge powerful armies. So that's really kind of an early goal, because see, that sends my income back up, and that'll make it easier for me to have more armies to defend, and then allow Luthor to be able to move on to the objectives in the campaign. Time. Ink admirals. Reinforced carcasses. Physical resistance 20% for rotting Prometheans. Ooh, that's pretty sweet actually. Let's do that. We're doing good, Bedlams. Thanks for dropping by. I'm actually out of time for tonight. I actually streamed for 2.5 hours tonight. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. This was really great. I'm going to save our game. It was not what I expected tonight. I expected to be able to go for the Phoenix Gates. This was a lot more aggression than I expected from the AI, but it was fun. We had some scary moments, like where Senshi had to save us on his Baywatch back here at Protocol's Cove. So Senshi pulls off some clutch wins, sends Volkmar packing back to the Empire. Protocol had an unwelcome defeat for Mazdamundi, but then Harkon turned around, gave Mazdamundi a massive defeat, took Hexatl off of him, and we're now cutting straight into the middle of Lizard territory. I wonder if we could
Marathi will listen to your plea.
Get Marathi to... Oh my gosh, I gotta give her 12,000 just for a non-aggression pact? I mean, we're at war with the same people, you idiot. Oh my gosh. I hate diplomacy with the AI. Like, it's just awful sometimes. Like, sometimes it's okay, and like, don't get me wrong, CA made tons of improvements to the usability of the interface for the diplomacy, but sometimes still the diplomacy is utterly stupid. It's like, hey, Marathi, we're fighting the same people, it's a big enemy, you know, maybe we should just not attack each other. I'm not even asking us to be allied, maybe we should just not attack. Nope, absolutely not. Give me all your money or it's no deal. What? Huh? I don't get it. Like, seems like we had a little bit in common there, but Marathi is definitely not feeling it. She's feeling ice cold. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll be back next Thursday with more Luthor and the X marks the spot. Thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you had fun.